Hey everyone, I say everyone. I can see Dina's here, so hey Dina. Great to see you here as always. I'm doing something a little bit different today with my video because I'm doing an Excel video. I know it's either going to bore people to tears or it's what they've been waiting for the past 8-10 months. I've had loads of people ask me if I would do Excel videos on my channel actually because it is something that I use. I would say, in fact, it is the most used application that I have of any application. So I do use it all of the time. And so, in fact, when I started my channel, I was considering doing a purely Excel channel. The reason why I haven't done any Excel videos on my channel is because it's just a subject in itself. So there's too much to go into to just do the odd random video here and there or a few different things. It's literally a subject in itself. And there are some people that are doing a really great job of Excel videos anyway, tutorials. So that is why I'm not including them on my channel. But I am going to just do a little bit of Excel today. Because I had a couple of people had asked me about this little spreadsheet that I put up earlier. And incidentally, I mean, having said that I've been using Excel probably, I would say 25 odd years, something like that. It's kind of like been throughout all of the different things I've done. Excel has been like the sort of backbone of it, coming from an engineering background and various other different things that I've done along the way. Yeah, Excel is just there. You know, we built houses here in Thailand for a decade and been here for 16 years, but haven't really built anything in the most recent years, just been focused on other things. But, you know, I had a whole spreadsheet created that I could basically do the costings for a house that I designed within, you know, like a couple of hours basically, and it would just cost everything out for me. So then now on to the stuff that I'm doing with trading and stuff like that, algorithmic trading. There's lots of calculations and sheets that I use for that. Having said that, this is probably my least attractive sheet that I've done. I do always try and have my spreadsheets looking, you know, somewhat presentable in terms of the way that I sort of present the data. I want it to look good as well as just have all the information there, because often people get bogged down in, you know, oh, it's another spreadsheet, I'm not interested. So I do try and, you know, make them at least look a little bit less like a spreadsheet. That said, I haven't really done that with this because this was just kind of like for my own personal use of tracking my YouTube videos. But since somebody did ask, I thought I would just explain a couple of little points about it and the sort of code that I've used to do things like this basically. So this is just basically keeping a running tally of my videos, 263 videos created, 102 remaining, as in of my 365 videos in a year challenge. The total runtime of all of my videos, so if you went onto my channel and watched, started at the beginning, watched all of my videos back to back non-stop, you'd be there for 5 days, 16 hours, 52 minutes and 45 seconds. Information like that pleases me. Like, not the size of it as such, but just the fact that I can get that information out. And the average video length is 31 minutes, 13 seconds. So I've been aiming for, you know, with the challenges that I set myself, was to have an average that was around about 30 minutes. So I am technically a little bit ahead of that at the moment. So yeah, so somebody asked though how I'd actually done that in terms of getting those things to just show up. And if I come down here to these are all my videos, these are the dates that they were posted. Let me just zoom in a little bit, maybe that might help. These are the dates that were posted, the title of the video, the URL, the time of the video in minutes and seconds, the total time in seconds, which I'll come to in a moment. And I do have some other information in here. So first of all, whether it was a video or a live stream, so I can tell how many videos are done, how many live streams at the end of it. But then also I've got these little checks here for whether it's got captions in, cards in, chapters, titles, descriptions, all that sort of stuff. So when I feel like I need to go back and actually really add in all of my chapter markers, because you can see I've been a bit lax with these ones have got them in, I'll be able to just go and filter by these to find out which videos I need to go and update. I've also got some other information on there related to like playlists, all that sort of stuff that I might want to sort by. But specifically today, it was really sort of this little bit here, because as I go down, if I come down here and added in another video, you can see how I've got 263 videos created at the moment. If I was to just add in another one today, just like that, then what would happen is that now says 264. If I was to put a time in here, say this video was, I don't know, 12 minutes, you can see how it's actually changing the time up here in terms of the minutes and seconds and so on. So yeah, somebody just asked, how did I do that? Somebody else had asked, what do I use this for? So it's really for me to track my videos, and I've sort of given it away a little bit there, that I use it as well to just track where I need to go back and do stuff where I've been lazy and not like added in captions and things like that. So in fact, I've not even updated this part for the last videos that I've been doing from CEDA, but where I've got my titles, descriptions, all that sort of stuff, chapter markers. So at some point, I do intend to make sure that all of my videos have got chapters, at least the ones that are getting, still getting reasonable views. If they're only getting like a view a month, then I perhaps won't bother. But yeah, well, I'm still getting traffic, then I'll go through and edit all of those. At some point, I may consider outsourcing that aspect of it as well. I'll have to evaluate the time involved to do it, and whether it's something that I'll just do myself, because it does involve basically going back and watching my videos at double speed, to be able to find out where the chapter markers are. Recently, I've been using a little button on my Stream Deck to actually mark chapters. So while I'm doing videos or live streams or things like that, I've been using that at times, but also the thing about that is it does require a little bit of planning to make sure you know what you're going to put the chapters, what chapters you are going to put into it. So sometimes I haven't done that, and so then I didn't use the little button then. Either way, it does involve going back and watching my content again. So if let's say, for example, if I hadn't put any chapter markers in all of my videos, even at double speed, it would be basically, nearly 3 days solid just watching my videos to try and work out where the chapters go. So you can see the task that I've got ahead of me, although a lot of them do have chapter marks in. Anyway, that is what I'm using this sheet for. It's for tracking certain things so that I can find out which ones I need to go and change. It's also as a log of all of my videos. You can search in YouTube, obviously, can't you? One thing I found with searching in YouTube, if I want to find a particular video and it's something related to Stream Deck, for example, and I do a search for, Stream Deck something, whatever the video is, if I can't quite remember the name, often YouTube will throw up a load of other things where I've got, for example, those words in the description and things like that. And as my sort of catalog on YouTube has grown, I found it harder to actually just jump in and find the video that I'm looking for. If I'm sending it to someone, I'm going to post it somewhere, somebody's asked a question and I know that it's answered in a video, something like that. Whereas with this, I can, first of all, I can filter by the different topics and things like that. So I've got some other filters further on in the sheet. But then also I can just actually find the video title. And if I just now come and highlight these two cells, then it's basically just copy and paste that. It's going to paste the title and then also the link to the video as well. So that's another reason for me to have it in this form. It also is just kind of my my language in terms of I understand Excel. I can do a whole load of other things with this that I just can't do within YouTube Studio. So that is another reason for me having that. So then we come on to actually how I've done these parts here, where it's basically just keeping these little tallies for me. The first step is, let me just create a brand new sheet in here. A lot of people, when they're creating an Excel sheet, they'll have a series of headers on their sheet, maybe header here, header 2, like column titles. It's not really a header, is it? It's a column title. And then they might have some data, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that, whatever it happens to be. Just make this bigger. There's so many people who just use Excel in this format, where they might have some data here, like this. Let's just say, I'm just going to use this as an example. So it's just all that. Let's just not even bother putting any, try and pretend we're making anything here. Whoops. So let's say you got some data in there. This is basically the way that a lot of people will just work with Excel. Some people might try and make this pretty by putting borders and things like that on it. So you might end up coming up here, putting some borders around it, stuff like that. I see lots of Excel sheets that are looking like this. However, this is just still one massive sheet with millions of cells in it potentially, and this data here is just all within this sheet. Well, if you press Command T, then it's actually going to convert this into a table, and it actually makes it a lot easier to work with data and manipulate data. If you have actually made it a table, people would think that's a table because it just looks like a table. But until you press Command T and say, yes, my table has headers, now that is an actual table. That means then that you can have multiple different tables. And by the way, the title of it down here, is you've got the different tables up shown up here. So yeah, a lot of people wouldn't necessarily be working with that. But what that means is then you can manipulate the data in here by referring to the table. So what I've got in my video database then is this thing down here with all my videos in is a table, and the minutes and seconds is just a field within that table, and then the total here is just basically combining those. So it's looking for, you can see how I can reference now, whereas before you would reference particular like cells. So you might say that, oh, well, this, if I want to convert this total time here into seconds, for example, you'd say, right, we got 46 seconds plus 49 minutes times 60. So you could reference the cells, but because it's in a table, you can see that the notation is a little bit different. If I can get my Pro Mouse to show up. So this is basically at mins is the minutes. You can see that's the column header. And then the seconds you reference like that. So then it's multiplying the 1 by 60 and adding it to the other one. So this gives us this total here, which is a field in this table. So all I've done to create these things here, if I just unhide these top cells, I've got a couple of other things. Now you can see here that this is basically the total number of seconds in all of my videos. I realize this is totally, you know, not the normal thing to do, and I'm not by any stretch suggesting that everyone starts going out and doing this on their YouTube content. I appreciate that I am a little bit weird when it comes to things like this. But if you were interested, that is the total number of seconds in my videos, 492,000 seconds, because that's just a total of these. But you can see how, because I've got this in a table down here, the notation to actually get that total number of seconds is just this sum table 1 brackets total. So it's just getting the sum of the total column from table 1. The reason why this is a good way to do it in terms of tables, A, because that's what they're for, that is the actual use, but it also means that if you come down to the bottom of the table, you can always just add in more rows. I've got extra rows more than I need in here actually, but if I just keep going and adding more rows, it will just add it to that table. So you're never sort of just summing up like a range or something like that, which a lot of people would tend to do in Excel, is just say, right, give me the sum of everything between these two things. But then as soon as you add some more stuff on the bottom, depending on how you do it, it may not then be included. In any case, that is how I've got that is how I've got that calculating there. Hey, Kevin, great to see you popping in. Indeed, tables for the win. That is true. Excel is like the human brain. No one knows how to use more than 3% of it. It's true. There's, I mean, there's so much into it that people just barely touch the surface of it. Power Query is just a massive part of Excel for me, because I can actually query SQL tables, so SQL. So a lot of the stuff we're doing with trading, we've got all of the data on a SQL database, and with Power Query, you can actually just link directly into a SQL database, and in there we've actually got trillions of records, but I can pull down, you know, specific records. I mean, there's so much data involved in stock trading. I mean, every day we're pulling down around about 2 or 3 million records a day, just from all the options data, and this is only for the US market as well. So for options data, pricing data, and stuff like that. So there is a massive amount of data, but you can basically create a table that you're pulling in just a subset of that from SQL. So even if you've got like a massive database, you can just pull in data and create a table from it with using Power Query. That's a whole nother another story. But anyway, so let's get back to the little task in hand we've got here, which is, so there I've got my total number of seconds. There is probably, you know, a shortcut way to do this, but what I did was I just basically calculated the number of hours. So that was how many hours are there, how many seconds are there in an hour? Sorry, how many seconds are there in a day? There happens to be 86,400. So I basically calculated the number of days, the number of whole days, I should say, which is I rounded down the number of seconds divided by the number of seconds in a day, which is 864,000. So that gave me 5. So I know that I've definitely got 5 whole days out of that number of seconds. I've then done the same here with the number of hours, but then I've just subtracted the number of days from that. So that's what this is doing, rounding down this one. I realize this is just the more I'm talking about this now, the more I realize how geeky this is. But it didn't actually take as long as it's taken me to describe how I did it. So it was kind of like just a quick job for me to throw this together. But so there we've got the number of days, the number of hours, the number of minutes, and the number of seconds. This is sounding more and more ridiculous to me the longer I go on, actually. Then in here, what I've done is I've also got the what's this one? This one is I've worked out the average time here, basically. So this is the average of the time, the runtime of all of the videos in seconds. It's because I just cropped this one. I thought it was confusing me a little bit there. So yeah, this is working out the average of all of the time, and so this is working out then the average video length. So that's the average in seconds of all of the videos, and then this is the average time in minutes and seconds of the videos. So that's basically giving me these high-level figures of days, minutes, hours, and seconds, and then also the average length. And so then what I've done is in here, where I've got the total runtime. You can incorporate figures from, actual figures within text, and the syntax to do that is you just write, so equals, so it's a formula, obviously. Anything you want in text, you're just going to enclose within quotation marks. So I've got quote, then this little arrow, total runtime, colon, space, quote, and then to include the text from a specific cell that might well be a numerical cell. So in this case, this 5 days, I want to include the figure from this cell. It's basically this one. So after you've included the text and you've ended it with the quotation marks, then it's the ampersand, B3, ampersand, and then quotes for the next part. You can see what's going on here. This is all the text that I've got, and then these things that I've got, like the ampersand sign on either side, is basically pulling in cell B3, C3, D3, and E3. So that's how this thing here is created. So this is basically live updating with anything that is appearing in these cells. So you can see that how those correlate there. The count is basically obviously just a count function. So that is counter and then the table name and the date. So it's basically the way that it's counting the videos is I've just basically counted where there is a new entry within the date field. So that's why if I just go and add a new date at the bottom in any of these cells, like for today, it basically just changes that figure there. And then, yeah, the 102 is simply, obviously 365 minus the number of videos I've done. So that's how many videos are remaining. And then we've done the average video length. What I will do actually, since I've got the data here, is I've also got, this is how many actual videos I've done. So it's 208 videos and 54 live streams. So I've always included the live streams in my video count. I'm still creating the videos for YouTube. So yeah, the total videos created is is 263, but actually I can split that out into 208 and 54 for 54 live streams and 208 actual recorded videos. So what I will do as well, now that I've mentioned it, is I'll also work out what the average length was for my minutes, the average length of my live streams and my videos as well. I haven't added in my shorts in here. I do need to go and have a little database of those as I'm creating more of them now so that I can search for those in the same way as well. But that is just a little bit about this little Excel spreadsheet. The other things I've got in here are basically, I mean, these are just, there's nothing to these. They're just a list of videos that I'm creating for CEDA and little check marks. I've not done anything special in here. This is just literally a list of cells. I wouldn't necessarily normally do this like this, but it's because I'm copying the titles over into this one. So yeah, that is what I've been doing with that. We agree on so much, Dina. Not using tables in Excel is a pet peeve of yours. We're on the same page. Thank you, Carly. I'm glad you approve of my my geekishness. I am including my live streams in my video count, by the way, Carly. What I haven't done is I haven't actually split them out. So yeah, my video count that I'm up to at the moment is this 263, and that is videos and live streams. What I haven't done is worked out the average length separately for those two things. So that is, to be honest, that is about all I'm intending to go through today, because it was just a case of I'd had a few people ask me a couple of questions about this, and so I thought I'd just come in and share it. I could really go on for days about Excel. If my channel was an Excel channel, then I would have thousands of videos, because, as I say, it's something I use sort of day in and day out, and it's one of my favorite apps, believe it or not. So yeah, that is all for me today. I'm going to check back in tomorrow though with something else that I've been using as part of CEDA, and another little update. I didn't get time to yesterday on my live stream. I said that what I might do was actually hook up my second computer and stream from that one whilst I do vertical form video in Ecamm Live on the other one, and stream it out as part of that, to sort of record the process of going the way that I'm setting up and doing my shorts, because I'm a little bit behind with my shorts for CEDA. I suppose I should give a little update on that. I'm up to date in terms of my regular videos, so I have been averaging 4 a day since I started in terms of putting them out there. I've got a couple more that are recorded as well, but the shorts, I've not done as many of those. So I might just do those within a live stream and show the process of how I go and set up everything. But that does need to be using my Ecamm profile that is in vertical format, as opposed to the one that I'm streaming out on, which is the regular one. But I figured, well, I could do a little bit of sharing of Ecamm between computers, and then start the live stream on my regular one, but then just bring in the vertical format video and just actually record them basically live on my second computer while streaming from the first one. There, I've said it. I don't know if I'll do that tomorrow or if that'll be the next day or something like that. I just need to get it all set up. So that's all for today. Thank you all for stopping by and for indulging me in a little bit of Excel geekery for a change. I do really love Excel. Oops, a daisy. Don't want to press that. I want to press that one, don't I? But yeah, I will catch you all in another video. And for those watching on the replay, there's some more content coming up next.